Boom, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to another members exclusive video. Applied Digital is a stock and company that we've been talking about for quite a while here on the channel, and they just had one of their best days in the history of the stock. This news with CoreWeave objectively bullish. It does warrant the 50% move higher that Applied Digital saw in the day following the release of this announcement. And I'm really excited to see what this stock can do in the short, medium, and longer term as well. Particularly the short to medium term, because personally I do see hype cycle potential or two-wave potential with this stock as far as the next couple of weeks is concerned, because you guys know the drill. If we do see a two-wave, if we do see a hype cycle play out, things can happen really fast. And I want to talk about the potential profit-taking strategy that I will implement in the case that we do see that as we jump into the charts today. So that's exciting stuff. We are currently holding call options on the stock over at Waves Capital. I know most of you who are members of the YouTube channel are members of the newsletter and portfolio group as well. But if not, what are you waiting for? Join the team. First link in the description of this video and in my pinned comment. This one right here. Pick your pricing plan, completely up to you. But yeah, what are you waiting for? It's going to be a hot summer. So excited, again, to see what's in store for not only APLD, but all the members of the Waves portfolio that thankfully performed incredibly well today. So, you know, let's keep the ball rolling. Let's keep the momentum alive. And let's just hope that the summer continues to heat up. Okay, we're going to talk, again, potential price targets here. I mean, even if we don't see a hype cycle, I still see a lot of potential in the stock as far as the short to medium term is concerned. So before we talk charts, before we talk technicals, let's go over the news itself. Okay, so key points. CoreWeave and Applied Digital have signed 2 long-term lease agreements for AI data centers, according to a release. Shares of Nvidia-backed CoreWeave climbed about 8%, while Applied Digital rose more than 48%. Again, it was up like 50% at one point during the trading day. Crazy. CoreWeave will provide AI and high-performance computing infrastructure for the Applied Digital Data Center campus in North Dakota. Shares of Applied Digital rose 48% after the company said it signed 2 long-term lease agreements with CoreWeave. Nvidia-backed CoreWeave climbed about 8%. Applied Digital said it expects $7 billion in rental revenue during the approximate 15-year period. The price is set up front, including an annual escalator regardless of actual project costs, according to a presentation shared with investors. Through these newly signed long-term leases with CoreWeave, we are taking a step forward in our strategic expansion into advanced compute infrastructure, said APLD CEO Wes Cummins in a release announcing the news. CoreWeave will provide AI and high-performance computing infrastructure for the Applied Digital Data Center campus in Ellendale, North Dakota, according to the release. The Applied Digital will provide 250 megawatts of critical IT load for CoreWeave. The campus is designed to host 400 megawatts of load. The lease covers 2 data cell blocks, one 100 megawatt and one 150 megawatts, and CoreWeave holds an option for a third data cell block of 150 megawatt capacity. Investor slide show. CoreWeave shares have been on a tear over the past couple of weeks, setting a record high of $1.30 on May 29th. The company, which rents AI servers powered by Nvidia chips, started trading $39 on March 28th. That's absolutely insane. Okay, so again, CoreWeave is a company, if you're not familiar with CoreWeave, I've always joked that I have no idea what CoreWeave actually does. It's just like a subsidiary of NVIDIA to kind of inflate NVIDIA's revenue, which is a little cynical, I'll be honest, but like that's always how I viewed CoreWeave as a company. But the fact that it is under the umbrella of NVIDIA, it is an NVIDIA company, literally owned by NVIDIA, is so powerful, right? NVIDIA just today, I wish it had like the breaking news headline at the top of the CNBC page, literally just before I hit record on this. It said NVIDIA surpasses Microsoft as the world's most valuable company. So NVIDIA, current market cap, 3 point whatever trillion, going on 4 trillion, 5 trillion. But realistically, I think we're at like 3.3, 3.4 trillion right now. the fact that they're co-signing this company and a big reason that Applied Digital ended up rallying earlier this year is because it showed that Nvidia is still holding an actual position in the company itself, or actually holding shares of the company as an investment. So again, Nvidia still invested in APLD. Nvidia's just younger, I mean, pretty much child company CoreWeave has just signed a long-term agreement with them, and this is all playing really, really strongly in the favor of Applied Digital. Okay, so again, fundamental momentum clearly in Applied Digital's favor. Let's just quickly run over kind of what's happened over the past month, because like a lot of stocks, like a lot of good stocks, good companies out there, Applied Digital has crazy 3x'd from those mid-April lows. So in just the span of a month and a half, APLD has gone from $3.30 to back into double digits, which is insane. But again, this news is super bullish, and it's not surprising once again that we did see that 50% move in a single day following this news. Okay, unfortunately, a waves cap. If you guys are part of the portfolio group, excuse me, if you guys have been following along over the past few weeks, you would know that we did have an amazing trade on Applied Digital. I think we had our trade resulted in about a 3x return. We played out this inverse head and shoulders pattern, picked up some call options around here, played it to over here, which was my initial inverse head and shoulders target, and just for full transparency, I will be honest, I didn't pick up call options. The current call position I have wasn't established until the day after the release. But fortunately, APLD gapped up about 30% at the open, pulled back to about like 22 to 24%, I think. And that's when I decided to strike. So I was really happy to get that pullback like right after the market opened. So early bird got the worm, because again, that day, Applied Digital did end up rallying 50% in total, so our call position is already in really good shape. That being said, I still think these are early days. You guys can see the targets that I have drawn here, so those are clearly all well above where Applied Digital is currently sitting, so I do still think there's upside potential. And once again, given just the super bullish nature of this deal, I really wouldn't be surprised if we were to see this catalyze a hype cycle. Especially like looking at volume, this is the second day after the announcement was made. You can see we traded 150 million shares today, so that's $10 a share, easy math there. That's $1.5 billion in shares traded. Applied Digital currently has a market cap of $2.3 billion, so it's like 75% of the total float of shares, or the entire market cap of the stock, was traded just today, in the second day after the announcement, which is crazy. It was about, just looking at the volume bars here, it had to have been about the same yesterday. So again, volume is, I guess I don't want to say again, but for those of you who have just heard me talk about these two wave patterns or hype cycles before, volume is typically, especially sustained volume, is a really good tell of a potential tidal wave coming, or of this two-wave pattern coming, right? So again, we're seeing this price hold. We got a little sell-off today, immediately eaten back up with buy orders. Volume is holding once again, and I really think that one of these targets above, or potentially all three of these above, will come into play. So first target is going to be, I should say all three targets that you can see listed here. Keep in mind, we can go higher, and we'll talk about that after. But all three targets that I have listed here are lines of conservative and absolute. So I'll call this super conservative resistance. This middle one is just conservative resistance. And then, to be honest, this would technically right here, this would be absolute resistance. So I'll just keep that drawn in because it's still possible. And if we just keep rallying higher, we'll use this as a profit target. Semi-absolute resistance, and then absolute resistance. Okay, so just keep in mind, you guys, if we do see a hype cycle hit, it's very hard to distinguish where the hype cycle stops, which is why I set multiple profit targets and take profits at those profit targets. Okay, so again, first move up, super conservative resistance. It's about 17% from where we're at now. Say $12. You always want to front run the competition. That would be $11.90. From there would be conservative resistance. That's about 31% higher from where we are now. Granted, we see this all happen within the next week or so. And keep in mind, once a hype cycle hits, things happen really, really fast. It's typically 10 to 14 days. It's very rare that a hype cycle, a two-wave, lasts more than 14 days, okay? And this is just based on many years of playing names in the crypto space, small cap space, hyper growth space. I'm sure many of you guys have been around for some of those two-wave plays before, and they typically never span longer than 2 weeks during a classic hype cycle, okay, or a short-term hype cycle. Palantir is a good example of a stock that just keeps ripping, but because its fundamental momentum is so strong and the company is actually growing at such an impressive pace. Nvidia is similar. But when it comes to, these small cap stocks like Applied Digital is, that are rallying following a significant piece of news and just exciting prospects. Got a froggy in my throat. But keep in mind, you guys, and just keep this in the back of your head if you are holding especially call options on the stock. Please take some profits 10 days, 10 to 14 days from the 30th. So June 10th to June 14th is when, if we're still ripping, is when you definitely want to make sure you lock in some profits. But again, personally, just as a trader and I have rules in place, I will be skimming profits and altering my position accordingly, or as I feel fit as each of these profit targets are tested. So moving on, we have conservative absolute resistance, or we have semi-absolute resistance up here. That's above $15, 47% up from where we currently are sitting, just above $10. And then finally, absolute resistance on kind of this megaphone channel, 55%, just under $16. Okay. So keep in mind, you guys, again, these targets are all set in the case that we do see this happen within the next week or so. But say we travel sideways a little bit, we get that second wave into the month of July. These price targets are going to become increasingly higher, just given the incline of these trend lines. Okay, so keep an eye on all these for yourself. As always, I recommend you guys go into your charts and draw these trend lines, because anyone can do it. You can see them right here, easy enough. Go into your own charts on TradingView, draw these trend lines, keep an eye on them, watch how they react, watch how they affect your options contracts. Or, even if you're just trading shares, this can still provide an insane return. Zooming out, the last hurdle as far as resistance is concerned is going to be, in my opinion at least, obviously we have the high back in February, but I have a pretty close eye on this level at 11.13 specifically, because this has proven to be a point of pretty significant ceiling for Applied Digital in the past. Just this range of like 11.10 to 11.60. Keep an eye on that range right there, just because, again, for the reason I just described. But also get excited because, this thing has all the makings, the fundamental and technical prospects of a hype cycle. And again, just looking at what happened back here, just remember what can happen. Go back in history, see what can happen with the stock. Because again, you see periods from right here, September of 2021. Like this time was way different to October. So within the span of a month, just keep in mind, Applied Digital pretty much 3x'd all the way up to like $35. So again, this news is so significant that I wouldn't be surprised to see Applied Digital 3, 4, 5x from here. But again, we'll cross those bridges as we come to them. For now, these are the price targets that I have in mind. And, if things do get more exciting, I'll just make another follow-up video. And, of course, I'll be covering these in the newsies every single day. So I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think about APLD and its future. And as I said in the beginning, let's keep this ride alive. Cheers, you guys. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.